Hi, Kay. So if we're looking at how to indicate something is aqueous, we're talking about these ions. So if we're talking about this chemical right here, this is some substance, and then it's going to dissolve into these ions. So both of these things are ions. This is what we would call the cation because it's got the positive charge. And this is what we would call the anion, and that's because it's got the negative charge. These actually come from words meaning up and down, cation and anion. But honestly, you just have to remember which one's which. There's a couple like mnemonics and other things that people use, but effectively the cation's the positive one and the anion is the negative one. And when we're talking about how to write if they are dissolved, we usually use that using this thing right here, where we write aqueous or AQ, meaning these are ions. So that shows an ion when we write aqueous. This we might write as like solid to show that it's a solid. You can also see like oftentimes like gases and like liquids. They'll be written with the parentheses like that. It's next to the subscripts, usually just a little bit smaller and off to the side, just showing the state of matter. And when we're talking about dissolved ions, that is written like a state of matter because it is different than something that's solid. It has a lot of different properties. We can talk about concentrations. So it's important to indicate when things are dissolved versus solids. And so if we're talking about the ions, we have the two ions. We've got the calcium ion, which is a +2. We've got this chlorine ion, which is a -1 charge. And you have two of them in this one molecule. This might be like a calcium molecule and another chlorine. And chlorine, you could think of it like this, like 1 per 2 of these. It's in that ratio. And so if we're thinking about this, when it separates, you've got one of these for every two of these guys, right? And so we can say there's actually 2 times the anions than the number of cations. And you can also specify what those are in this. Okay, thanks for joining me. This is Andrew McLaren. I do have a YouTube channel called McLearn with McLaren, so check that out there as well. I'll see you around.